new championship season starts this weekend, or tomorrow in actual fact, and I thought it's about time I get my Game Week 1 predictions, my weekly predictions series back underway. Let's hope that, let's hope I can do well again this year, and also, I keep saying it, for Christmas I did get this microphone set, just to prove that I do have it, because I am aware the sound quality isn't great, got the whole packet over there, but so hopefully that'll be sorted out in future videos, and without further ado, let's predict this weekend's matches. And we're going to start with tomorrow night's match. It is Wolves against Blackburn Rovers at Molineux, and well, this is a battle of two sides that I could see having differing seasons. I think Wolves will have a very solid season and get promoted, but spoilers if you haven't actually seen my table predictions video yet. I do think Wolves will get promoted, and Blackburn I do have going down and struggling this season. I mean, I'm not sure if Blackburn are really ready for the season start here. And Wolves, as I say, they've brought in, they brought in Adam Armstrong in January, and then they brought in they brought back Raul Jimenez and brought in Kieran Trippier. They've got a very solid side for the Championship. Of course, they did get rid of Rob Edwards at the end of last season, but I think Wolves will be fine this season, and I think they will start off with a win and a clean sheet to boot here. I'm going Wolves to win 2-0. I think could be a long road for Blackburn this season, but for Wolves, I'm going 2-0 to Wolverhampton. Next up, we've got one of the promoted sides from League One. It's Bolton Wanderers against Preston North End. And now, personally, again, in this in my table video, I did have both these sides struggling this season. Preston is a side I could see going on a run. I mean, could be stupid. They could well be solid mid-table, especially under Paul Heckingbottom. But I do think, with this being the first game, and some people, starting to figure out, their squads and things, I think Bolton could get out here with a point. I'm gonna do it. I'll go for a 1-1 draw on this one. I'll sit on the fence. I think Bolton will need to get off to a flying start if they want to have any chances of realistically staying up this season, but I think Schumacher is a good manager, and I do have Bolton getting a point here, 1-1. And next up, we've got Middlesbrough against Lincoln City, another one of the promoted sides. Middlesbrough came third, I think, in the Championship last season. Lincoln won League One with 103 points. Obviously, their manager, Michael Scabala, he's gone off to Bristol City this season. And Lincoln have got two co-head coaches at the minute this season. I'm not sure how much that is going to work. Obviously, Middlesbrough still have Kim Helberg in charge, and I think he could push them on for another good season this season. Obviously, so unlucky to miss out, on promotion 3 times, in fact, last season, really. Lost 1-0 to Hull in the playoff final. I think they could be in and around playoffs again this season. But honestly, I do think Lincoln, like I said about Blackburn and Bolton, maybe I think it could be a bit of a slug this season. I'm going to go with Middlesbrough, and I just don't know if Lincoln have found their feet yet. It could be a bit less damaging than this, but I'm going to back Middlesbrough. All mags in the Middlesbrough basket. I'm backing them to win 3-0. I think, Borough just look too strong for the Imps at the minute. 3-0 3-0 to the Borough. Next up we go to around here, the South Coast. It's Portsmouth against QPR. In a battle of two sides I could see being in and around mid-table next season. I think Portsmouth will be safe. I think QPR will as well. But, you know, QPR tend to be a streaky side, and Portsmouth can be as well, actually. I think, though, I just have this weird feeling that Fratton Park might be a fortress again this season for Portsmouth. I think I might have said it last season in Gameweek predictions. I think Portsmouth will get the bulk of their points at home. I think that's what they've done the last couple seasons now. But I don't know. I think, yeah, as I said before in the video, I think with sides trying to, you know, find their feet, find their best starting 11 in this league, I think I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw on this one. I'm going to go down the middle. I'm going to sit on the fence with a 1-1 draw on this one. Next up, we've got Stoke City against Swansea City in two relatively unknowns coming into this season. In Stoke under Mark Robbins, they've last season they started off real strong. I think they were second in October, or well, maybe not that far in, but certainly I think at the first international break they were second in the table, automatic promotion places, and then dropped away to finish in their, you know, spiritual home of like 17th. Swansea, they're another one. They have held on to Vipotnik at the time of recording, so that could be a good keep for them. I've seen some people putting Swansea as a dark horse to make playoffs or in their playoffs. I don't know. I think it could be kind of relative mid-table for them again next season. I'm going to go with Swansea to win this, though. I'm going to back Swansea to edge it 2-1. I think could be close, but ultimately I do have the Swans just edging out the Potters here. 2-1 to the Swans. Next up, we've got Norwich City against West Brom in, well, it's kind of a, well, certainly for Norwich, it was a season of two halves last season. Liam Manning with the first half, he went out and Phil Clement came in and absolutely rocketed them up the table. West Brom only just survived last season, 21st place, of course with that points deduction as well. I think the Baggies will push on this season, but going to Carrow Road and against the Norwich side, who I've seen a lot of people putting for playoffs, even promotion this season, and I can't argue against that at the minute. But I'm going to back the Canaries to edge it. I think West Brom might make a game of it. I'll back Norwich to win it 2-1. I think, you know, I think the Canaries just have too much quality at the minute. But 2-1 to the Canaries, and Phil Clement to continue his good run of form for them. Next up, we've got Charlton Athletic against Derby County in, well, a battle of a side that a lot of people have going down against a side a lot of people have making playoffs this season. Now, Charlton under Nathan Jones last season absolutely, well, I had them to finish bottom last season, and I mean that was foolish because in all fairness to me, that was like mid-June or something, like very early before Sheffield Wednesday was clearly in trouble. But you know, they did very much stay up, I think, in 19th place last season. Derby finished 8th and just missed out on the playoffs. Of course, the top 8 get playoffs this season, and I think Derby could be sniffing there again. This one's tricky because Charlton last season did love a narrow 1-0 victory. Derby loves victories as well, though. I think it could be cagey. I think one goal could decide it, but I'm going with the Rams here. I'll back Derby to win it 1-0. I think Charlton will get off to a 1-0 loss this season, but I think John Eustace will get Derby to prevail. So 1-0 to the Rams. Next up, we've got Bristol City against Millwall in a battle of two sides who made the playoffs in the last 2 seasons. Bristol City making 6th place in, what was that, the 24-25 season, and Millwall making 3rd place in the playoffs last season. And we were so close to getting Millwall in the Premier League. I mean, this one's tricky. Of course, as I said earlier, Michael Scabula now in at Bristol City. It is at home, and I don't really know what to predict from Bristol City this season. They, on one hand, it could be another sort of top half playoff push, or it could very much tail out to be a mid-table finish again this season. Millwall, I think, will be impressive this season. I think, on the road, Millwall picked up more points than anyone last season, which is, mighty impressive, even more than Coventry. But, this season, I think it's going to start out with a good game. I'm going to go on the fence with a 2-2 draw this time. I'll play a Desmond on this one. I think both sides are going to be happy on the opening match week to shake hands and get points. So 2-2 draw. Next up, we've got Sheffield United against Birmingham City in, these are 2 more sides that I could see being in a playoff discussion this season. Sheffield United do have, in theory, the whole season with Chris Wilder now. Struggled at the start of the last season with Ruben Selles, and Chris Wilder came in and steadied the ship a bit. Birmingham City, they had a slightly, I know in a lot of people's opinions, a very slightly underwhelming season last season, finishing 10th. I'll admit, I didn't go onto the playoff hype train last season, but I did see them finishing a bit higher. I think I had them 8th last season, and they kind of half proved me right there. But I do expect Birmingham to be good this season. I remember St Andrews was a fortress last season. They beat Coventry there in December, January time, I believe. Yeah, like I said about the Bristol City Millwall game, I could see this having some goals. I think they'll be fairly happy to shake hands again. I'll go down the middle again with another Desmond, another 2-2 draw on this one. I think, a point wouldn't be the worst start for either, and a couple goals as well. Just figuring out the best sides, but, I expect Patrick Bamford might score a goal for Sheffield United here, but ultimately I have it ending in a Desmond, a 2-2 draw, and a point apiece. And then we move on to Sunday's matches. It is Watford against Southampton in what is Southampton's first league match since, Spygate at the end of last season, which I would rather not talk about. But, it's not going to be particularly easy this season. Of course, we do start with a 4-point deduction this season because of that. But I think Watford might be it won't be the worst of starts for the Saints here. And I do think, managed to sign, on a permanent deal, Daniel Peretz, Carl Laren as well, Warren Dobbin from Aston Villa, that's a good signing as well. We've held on to a lot of our key players as well. That is the most important thing here. Meanwhile, Watford, I really don't know what to expect from them this season. I have seen a lot of people put them even in the bottom 3. I don't think they'll quite be bad enough to get relegated, but I can see a few more, managerial changes at Watford this season. As for Southampton, we have held on to Tonda Eckert, and I know what he did at the end of last season was very wrong, but he is still a good manager. I think he had us as the form side of the division at the end of last season, and I think as long as we can keep him, we could go on a promotion push here, or at least a playoff push. I'm going to back Southampton to get off to winning ways and get to -1 point. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for the Saints. Here, we need to push on as quickly as possible, to make up that points ground that we've already lost. But I'm going to back the Saints with a 2-1 win here, and 3 points. And next up, we've got potentially game of the week in the Championship here. It was a Premier League matchup just last season. It's Burnley against West Ham United this is a battle of, two sides I personally have pushing for promotion this season. I've seen almost everyone put West Ham top of their tables, and why not? They've held on to Jared Bowen. Sure, they've lost Mateus Fernandes to Spurs. They've held on to a lot of their key, players, and Nuno Espirito Santo is staying as well. We've seen him get promoted from the division with Wolves in the past. I've seen Burnley quite low down, surprisingly low down, just in the top 10 or top half in a lot of people's predictions. I've seen them also in the playoffs. They are very hard to call what kind of season they're going to have this season. But I think with this game being at Turf Moor, I do think that Burnley will have a good crack at the game. Ultimately, I think the Irons just have enough quality and depth to get over the line here. I back West Ham to win it 2-1. I think it's going to be closer than some people think, but ultimately I do have the Irons just edging out the 3 points, and a good start to the season. 2-1 West Ham. And then the final game is on Monday. It is Cardiff City against Wrexham it's two sides in Wales. I don't think it's really a derby, but it is two Welsh sides playing each other, and it's tricky, this one. Cardiff finishing second in League One last season. Wrexham missing out in the playoffs, just in 7th place last season. I don't know. Again, it's tricky. It's tricky to call, because Cardiff, at times last season they weren't overly impressive in League One season. Like, I did have them, I thought, did I had them, I had them in the playoffs last season, to be honest. So they did actually, in terms of a table finish, I had them a bit lower than they finished. Wrexham finished quite a bit higher than I imagined. I don't know if they'll be pushing for playoffs again this season. It's tricky because this is at the CardiffCity.com stadium, and Cardiff can show up and get a result here. I think Wrexham's quality and experience will just show. I'm going to back Wrexham to win it 3-1. I don't know why, but I can see Wrexham getting a few goals and the 3 points here. 3-1 to Wrexham. And there you have it, guys. The opening, all 12 games on the opening match week for the Championship 26-27 season predicted. I'd love to know your predictions in the comments down below. And I'll see you all in the next one.